Hello everyone, I'm Fathom, a bat who drives a Dodge Challenger with red headlights. Yeah, my dreams. Welcome to part 2 of our series on creating the Fears to Fathom dialogue system in Unity. In part 1, we covered the basics, which you can check out by clicking on top of your screen right now or with a link in the description. In this video, we'll dive into adding animations for our character, making the player we're talking to look at us, and updating our previous code so we can actually add these functions to them. These two parts will be put inside a series of videos covering Unity tips and tricks. Oh, also, and I've published my first ever game. It's a retro horror game. You can check it out with a link in the description. With all those being said, let's get started. Okay, we're gonna go to the first part of the video, which is actually setting up the animation for this mannequin, which is actually needed for the function of him looking at us. I actually had this mannequin idle. When we select it, in the inspector tab, go to rig and choose a humanoid, not generic, just humanoid, and say create from this model and press on apply. If this mannequin idle is the same one as this prefab, it would automatically create an animator for you. If it didn't, don't worry, you're gonna click on this add component and search animator. It's this one, click on it. It needs an avatar, so to actually give this avatar to this model, you have to go and press on this one and drag and drop this avatar to this avatar section. It needs an animator controller, so to actually create an animator controller, you can right click here, create, go to animation tab, there's an animator controller. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna name it manic animator. Again, I'm gonna select my manic idol, this player, and I'm gonna give it this animator. We can open this in the animator tab. If you don't have the animator tab, you just double click on this to open it. If it didn't open it, you're just gonna have to go to window, animation, this is the animator tab. What we want to do right now to actually use the function of him looking at us, click on this icon, go to layers and click on this icon and enable IK pass. You're gonna click on this IK pass, and that's it. Okay, it needs an animation. I'm just gonna give it animation like this one. This is my way of giving an animation. You're gonna expand your animation. This is the animation I've downloaded from Mixamo, an idle animation. What I wanna do is I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna hold Control and I'm gonna say Control D, which is gonna duplicate my animation and it's gonna put it outside of this pack. I'm gonna call it Manic Idle Anim. How am I going to give it to this animator? I'm going to go to the animator. I'm going to drag and drop it into the animator. I'm going to select the animation and I'm going to make a loop. Because this is an idle animation, I want it to loop. As you can see, this is loopable. So we can actually go ahead and check out the function we've added right now. As you can see, he is doing an animation. So for that function, I'm going to create a new script. Right click here, create a new mono behavior script. I'm going to name it look at function. Double click to open it up. What we want to do is, we don't need this void update and start, we can delete it. So first we need an animator, so I'm going to say public animator. I'm going to name it animator. Then we need a boolean, public boolean. I'm going to call it IK active, which is equal to false by default. Then I need a transform for the player's transform, so we can look at the player. So public transform, I'm going to name it look at object, which is equal to null by default. Then we need a float, public float for the look weight. I'm just gonna call it look weight. I'm gonna make it equal to 2. What we need now is a void on animator IK. Be careful about the writing, it needs to be like this, on animator IK. First we're gonna say if it has an animator. If it actually has an animator, then we go ahead and check if IK active is equal to true. So we say if IK active is equal to true, for example. You can say, for example, is equal to true. You say if IK active, it doesn't matter. Then we're gonna go ahead and say if we actually have a look at object and it is not equal to null, so we're gonna say if look at object is not equal to null. Animator, the animator we have dot set look at weight, and the weight is actually equal to our look weight, which is equal to 2. Then we're gonna say animator dot set look at position. The position is actually equal to the look at object dot position. If IK active is equal to false, if we don't want to look at anybody, we're just gonna say else, and we're gonna say animator dot set look weight equal to 0. We're gonna select our mannequin. We're gonna give the look at function to our mannequin. It needs an animator. You can click on the circle and select your animator. You can drag and drop this animator, or you can even drag and drop your game object here. Then it needs a transform. The transform is actually our player, so I'm just gonna give it the FPS controller. If I press on this IK active, we're gonna go ahead and see that it's gonna look at us. As you see, he is looking at us. And when we're here, he's not, looking all the way back. And when we jump, he's gonna look at us. And when I, deactivate this, IK active is equal to false, he is not gonna look at us. For the third part of the video, we're gonna go ahead and implement this to the talk system. So we're gonna open up our script. We're gonna go to this cam interact fears to Fathom we created in the previous video. What do we need now? We need a reference to our lookat function. So we're gonna say public lookat function script. I'm gonna call it lookat script. You can name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it lookat script. When we go ahead and talk to the mannequin, we want him to look at us. So I'm up here, we're just gonna say look at. So you guys know this part is added. I'm just gonna say lookat script dot IK active is equal to true. So he can look at us right now. And after 5 seconds, when we reset everything, lookat script dot IK active is equal to false. So that's how you implement it into your code. Let's go ahead and check it out. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to mannequin idle and by default make it false. You're gonna go to our cam interact script. We're gonna give it the lookat function script. It needs a script. You can click on the circle to find the game object with the script. You can give it like here. You can drag and drop your mannequin idle. So with those being done, let's go ahead and check it out. So he's not looking at us. Gonna press this. He's gonna look at us. So this was part 2 of creating the Fears to Fathom dialogue system in Unity. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a like would be amazing. And you can subscribe to see more contents like this and the continue of these parts. You can comment any opinions or any questions or anything you have. I'll be glad to answer them. I'm gonna go do something for the end of the video as I did in all my videos. So this is what I created for the end of the video. I hope you guys or gals like it. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.